I was too young to see Top Girls here, but I performed it, and obviously that for me is one of the best plays, certainly for women, obviously. But again, the ingenuity of her originality and everything about the staging of that particular play, the initial opening scene is just such a coup, and then it goes from this sort of epic, weird, dreamlike thing into something incredibly domestic. So yeah, I think that's one of the extraordinary things when you see a writer's development over the years through a theatre like this, the support she had, and similarly with other writers, obviously. I was really struck by Carol Churchill again in Number 2002, I think that is, isn't it? And I just thought the simplicity of the way they staged it. I mean, she's always incredibly formally inventive, but I think when I did the ugly one with Ramin Gray, I think that play somehow got unlocked when we went with a similar kind of simplicity of staging, and you could really hear the text so much more when there's just... It was a very scratchy aesthetic in both, so I remember feeling very excited by how powerful theatre can be with just very little. For me, coming here, every time I've sort of given birth to the character as much as the writer has, so that I think is really exciting for an actor, but also in terms of just hearing new voices, particularly from the international department around the world, is a really important thing. Collaborating with people in general, but making art together afresh about the world we live in, rather than just obviously doing classic plays and things like that is important, but I think focusing on the writer and the new voices that come through is really important. It's very difficult to predict things, and I think what's been really important about the Royal Court is that they don't think, right, we're going to do... Well, of course they do. I mean, the fundamental thing about this place is the right to fail, that focus on the writer. As long as those sort of basic things are in place, then it grows in its own way without you sort of thinking, right, well, we've got to aim to do this and this target has to be met and the blah, blah, blah. I think it's important. I mean, the work that Elise does in the international department, you're going out and it's a conversation between countries and people there, rather than thinking we've got a set agenda that we've got to meet. It's kind of, it evolves organically and perhaps more excitingly if you just keep the basic tenets of the place. The right to fail, focus on the writer as the primary artist, then things will happen that you can't really anticipate or aim for as such. But it takes some courage, and also one has to do things that will make money in order to support the other work. But at the same time, I think what's been really astounding, particularly in the 20 years that I've had an association with the place, you're constantly surprised by what the next play is really, and what it, where the next writer comes from.